words in the beginning. First of all, Ivan and colleagues should thank you very much for the invitation. It's an honor for me. Second, please take note that it's not me who's taking time from the lunch break. I'm just a victim, just like you. And third, looking at the name of the presentation, which is, yeah, now I'm somehow again a victim of Ivan. He told me, you know, Radu, I would like to deliver a presentation on the way to success, looking at Bucharest Stock Exchange. And of course I had a challenge. First of all, I think it's very hard to define the success. And I don't know if we are successful, we are doing as best as we can. And second, I think that there is not one single way to reach that success, no matter how we define it. So, what I will speak about is the way we are doing things. You take what you think that it's useful to you. And I will start with the big picture, and I think Ivana provided a bit of context here. What is important for us to know is that, of course, we live in an interconnected world, and we have to be careful at what's happening around us in order to plan and in order to adapt. And in order to do that, of course, we have to read, we have to look around. I took an example book, which, of course, has a positive and a negative. The positive is that we have a plan to fix. The negative is that, at least as Mohamed El-Erian says and Gordon Brown are saying, we are currently living in a fractured world. And how do they define this world? First of all, they say in terms of long-term trends, because it's good for us to look at these long-term trends, they say first we are moving from a unipolar world to a multipolar one. We are moving from neoliberalism to neo-nationalism, and we are moving from hyper-globalization to fragmentation. Second, and the inflation was touched also before, they say very nicely central banks risk winning the inflation war, but losing the peace by tanking the economy. Because somehow if we link the two things, protectionism normally leads to inefficiencies globally. Inefficiencies would normally be translated in inflation. So somehow I think that we are prone to live in a world which will be characterized by higher inflation. And second and third, growth is not just slowing by changing, and we read a lot about what's happening globally with supply chains, and we learn new words like friendshoring, nearshoring, reshoring. Another trend which I find very interesting, it's shown by the global trader. And if you look at the long-term trend in terms of global, it is a graph which shows the trade, the exports, and showing rich and poor countries. And what you see, it's an increase of the contribution to the global trade of the poor countries. If you look before the Second World War, the rich countries were controlling more than 80% of the global exports. Now they are at something like 50%, and we see a trend of growing contribution from, it's not good using that poor word, because somehow I think both Romania and Macedonia is classified there. And I would say that what's going on, it's a world that it's rebalancing, and it is a world where the emerging markets are gaining ground, are growing. So, considering that this is a part of the big picture, the question for us as stock exchanges is how do we fit into this? And looking at Bucharest Stock Exchange, I'm sure that you as Macedonian Stock Exchange have your own answers. Zagreb Stock Exchange has also its own answers to this question. We are looking at 5 pillars in terms of strategy. And of course, the first two are linked to the most important stakeholders we have. It's about local companies, and we see Bucharest Stock Exchange positioning as the main financing channel for the Romanian companies. Second, we look at the investors, and of course, the main task we have is broadening the investor base. After that, of course, just as you looking at infrastructure, doing it in a sustainable way, and sustainability means also profitability, because that gives us the power to move forward. And fourth point, and I think a very important one, even if I'm not going to touch it today, is the education. Because somehow, I don't like, I think that we speak too much about financial education and about the lack of financial education. I feel that somehow, I don't know if it's, I'm talking now about Romania, I don't know if it's the same in Macedonia, but I feel that what we are doing is that we are saying to the public that they are uneducated and they need education. And I think that this is not correct. I think that first of all, we have a kind of education. I think that education is not something fixed. I think that we all live in a world which goes ahead with education, and we have a duty to grow. And that applies to every one of us, even those which are considering ourselves financially literate. So, of course, again, I think strategic pillars are about the same for everyone. The question is, how do we execute? And starting with the companies, and I think that this topic was also touched, and is going to be even touched tomorrow in one of the panels, is the topic of succession for the local companies. It's not needed to take pictures. We are going to send a presentation to all of you. What we are doing on the Romanian market, we are looking at the local companies, and what we are seeing is that we are approaching a key point. We all went into the market economy something like 35 years ago. The first domestic private companies were born in year 90s. They were set up by people who were there probably in their 30s, their 40s. Now they are probably closing to their 70s, closing the retirement. So the big and oldest local private companies are closing the first succession. And if we look at this first succession in the private companies, we see that this is a critical point usually, and it's not about us, it's about what's happening globally. And I was looking at the US market. The history says that 30% of the private companies manage to go to the second generation. 30% get sold, and 30% probably fail. And I think this is a task for us as stock exchanges, if we look at us as partners for the local companies, to provide the local private companies a way to move forward past the first generation change in terms of ownership. And I think this is what we see in terms of listings. If I look at Romania, and I will show you some figures. Here we had, of course, a very good year 2021, and it was, we were seeing it as a start of a trend of growing number of companies coming to the market. Of course, after that we had the impact coming from the Ukraine, and of course things got more complicated, inflation went up, things are cooling down. Now with the inflation decreasing, hopefully in a stable way, again I have some questions about this, I think that we are going to see again a trend of growing number of private companies coming to the market. On the graph in the left you have the number of companies, on the right there is the values raised through the market. We had 5.5 billion in 2023 and 2.3 billion in 2024. Of course, you know the Hidroelectrica story. Last year, I think it was the largest IPO globally. Something which, of course, helped the local market. What I would like to point out from what's on the screen, it's about the number of investors. If you look at the Hidroelectrica IPO, which was valued at about 2 billion euros, you will see that the retail tranche was close to 400 million, and it was 3 times oversubscribed. That means that close to 60,000 Romanian investors subscribed about 1 billion euros into that offer. So that shows the potential of the local market. And I think, again, I was seeing in, I think, also Ivana presentation, the level of local retail deposits in banks, which were growing here, just like in Romania. We have a growing base of capital there, which we can tell. Premier Energy listing this year, same story, 140 million to the retail market, and 7 times oversubscribed. 2 graphs on the performance of the market. I will go fast over this. It shows a bit of overperformance for the Romanian market, and that contributed to the significant growth we are witnessing now in terms of capitalization. On the graph on the left, we are now above 50 billion. We were at some point at around 60 billion. I think we are now number 3 in Central and Eastern Europe after Poland and Austria. But for me, again, the most important thing regarding the positioning of the local stock exchange, it's linked with the investors. And if I'm looking to the investors, the most important topic is linked to the local investors, retail investors, because when I'm speaking in Romania, I see that the stock exchange is not only a way to raise capital, it's also like a scene. It's a place where the companies are going, and they can use the stock exchange scene to communicate with the investors. And as in art, as in theater, the value of a scene is done by the number of the people in the audience. The value of our stock exchanges in terms of the visibility we can deliver to the companies which are getting listed, it's provided by the number of investors which look at the companies which are getting listed. So from that perspective, I would say is the most positive thing we are witnessing. If in 2020 we had a bottom with something like 50,000, 53,000 accounts, this year at the end of June we went about 200,000, so something like 4 times increase. So retail, very important. What we see in the institutional side, same story. Mostly in the pension funds area, probably you have it also here. The pension funds are a very, very good anchor for the local IPOs. And if we look on the usage on the asset management side, we see not necessarily a sharp increase in assets under management. What we see, it's a growing allocation towards equities. If we look at, for example, 2015, 2016, 5% of the assets under management were allocated towards equities. Now we talk about close to 30%, which might be a sign to sell. Of course, a boost to liquidity. We see 2023 the impact of Hidroelectrica, but even if we eliminate that, we see that we have starting 2019, 2020, slight growth on an annual basis in terms of liquidity. And what we see also, if we look at liquidity, we see that it's tilting towards local. The contribution of the local institutional and retail investors, it's close to 75%, with foreign investors contributing to 26%. And we see that the decline started with the COVID. After 2019, we see a steady decline in terms of the contribution of the foreign institutional investors mostly. This is about the past, and this is about what's happening at us. If you have any questions or any issues we would like to discuss, just ask. If not, we can talk at the lunch and in the second part of the session. Looking at the projects we have for the future, we put here 4 bullets. What I would underline is that if you look at the first 2 bullets, we are talking about the government. And I would say that as long as we live in a region where the stock exchanges are somehow having a national profile, we are linked to the state, we are operating in the connection between the stock exchange and the state is very important. And for us, we are doing a lot of effort in improving and building trust in the relationship with the state as the most important stakeholder. We have a strategy for the capital market development, which was launched last year, and we were very happy to see that the originator of that strategy was not the stock exchange, but the Ministry of Finance. It's nice to see that there are your partners working together with you to develop a strategy. And of course, we have also a support scheme to help financially companies to get listed by covering part of the costs. Again, if I'm looking at this second project, what is important for us is not necessarily the financial part, because I really think that no company, no private company gets listed because it gets a financial incentive in terms of a part of the costs being covered. I think that the most important thing is that you have a sign, you have a message that the state supports the development of the local companies and of the capital market. And BVB Arena, a program which is designed to companies which are not listed. I think Ivan, you also have something like Boom here.
Without the money for
the money are not for BVB Arena, but yeah, of course it's always nice to have any kind of support, including the financial one. So we have the BVB Arena, which is designed as a scene for the unlisted companies, showing them what the stock exchange can do to them in order to improve their visibility. And the Research Hub, well, you know, those of you who are in the brokerage industry, we had MiFID II a few years ago that affected money the brokerage companies were spending on research. So we in Romania, we came into the game, we allocated resources, we started to pay the brokerage houses in order to cover with research part of the listed companies. And of course we used that kickstart from the stock exchange to improve the coverage by asking after the listed companies to contribute to some kind of fund which is managed by the stock exchange, which pays to the brokers to improve the research coverage for the local market. And going forward, I would put there 4 things, and I was careful choosing the words here. If you remember the first slide when I was talking about the stock exchange and its role, it was supporting the financial needs of the local companies. Now I'm saying supporter and partner, because I really think that we as national stock exchanges and we as a communication platform with the ecosystem around us, we can do a lot more for the listed companies than simply providing them with access to the capital market. I think we can do a lot of things that helps them and that helps also us, because if we position ourselves like that, we are going to be able to provide them more reasons to come to the market to get listed. Again, retail investors, and there I would say we have to work on visibility, credibility, accessibility. Accessibility is linked, of course, with the technology, and that helps. If it's about credibility and visibility, I think it's very much about how we speak. And I think that it's very important for us to speak as simple as we can. To think that we are not talking, if we want to have the retail market in the stock exchange, we have to be aware that we are not going to have university teachers on the market. We are going to have the mass market, and we have to communicate with them in a simple way, in an understandable way, in order to make the market appealing. Regional cooperation, this is the reason why I'm here. I think this is the reason Ivan and the Macedonian Stock Exchange invited us here. I think we can do a lot of things together. And of course, last but not least, increasing our visibility. And there is, I think, a field to work together towards foreign investors. So, this being said, I think we are all hungry. Ivan, again, thank you very much for the invitation. Looking forward to seeing you in Bucharest. days in Eastern Europe. Looking forward for doing things together, and I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to follow your discussions today. Thank you very much.